thank you very much for staying today. I really appreciate it. My name is Scott Hindman, and I'm here to talk to you today about interpersonal connections and keeping it real in education. Not so long ago, I studied in a place called Salzburg, Austria. I studied there for graduate school and undergrad as well, and made a lot of friends there. I was there to study business and German because I was chasing this mythical beast called international business. I had already worked in business, but I wanted to go international. But it didn't really help my international business career to meet mainly educators while I was over there, and made a lot of good friends there. And I maintain those friendships today. Well, my finances quickly ran out after a short period of time. And to make my money, I did three things. And the three things that I did were I donated plasma. And those of you who have ever done that, that's an experience in itself. I graded and corrected people's homework in the dormitory. And I got a job with a tutoring institute. Now, this tutoring institute, my first two people that I was going to teach, I'd never been in a teaching position before, were two boys. They said they were defiant, didn't want to learn, didn't want to study English. I was going to teach them English. And they were unruly, incorrigible kids. So I sat down in this room with them, two nice looking boys, clean cut, and I didn't say anything. They started speaking in English. It was pretty good. And when I spoke, they said, "Oh my goodness, you're American." So, so after a few weeks, they had no curriculum for me. They had no guidelines whatsoever other than teach these incorrigible boys. So we got along really well. My only reward that I had to give them was that I had to translate some rap lyrics at the time. And I don't know if you know about rap lyrics in the 1990s. They were really not the most school-appropriate things, but we muddled through them. And at the end, I think I was with them a semester, and I said, "Why did you respond to me so well?" I put them through all kinds of silly things just to speak the language, and they said, "Because you're real. You didn't get it from a book. You're a real American, and you're speaking real American English." And that was it. That was it. I went back to the dorm and I said, "I want this. I want to teach. I want to be an educator, and I want to make it real." And I said, "But I'm not a real German. I'm not a native speaker. So how do I do this?" So I told my wife studied with me over there. We both studied at the University of Salzburg, and I told my wife, I told my friends, I said, "I really want to do this, and I maybe some sort of program. We get the kids back to Austria, and keep it cheap, keep it as inexpensive as we can." And my wife said, rah, 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 of course. And at the very same time, this is 1996, at the very same time, this is a really big coincidence, at this school, two teachers were searching for exactly the same thing I was talking about, getting kids to Austria, not Germany, but Austria. I don't know why that coincidence took place, but it did. And getting them over there as inexpensively as possible and having an exchange with an Austrian school. Which was my plan. So I didn't come back to the States until 1998. They had already begun this program that I really thought I invented. And Mrs. Russman and Mrs. Lindner passed away. Mrs. Russman went into retirement, and I took over the program in 2002. Now the connectivity part comes in where we have these friends in Austria. We go and we visit them every other year. They come and visit us every other year. And we have these technological advances that I had never thought of before. We have a thing called WhatsApp. Now, WhatsApp is a really great application. It's an app that you can speak with someone right now. You can text someone internationally. It doesn't cost anything for the first year. And we just use it in class today, and I thought this is great. This is perfect for what I'm going to talk about today. Because we needed the word for fuzzy. And if you look it up in the German dictionary, there's a word for fuzzy, but it's unclear. His mind was fuzzy. Well, for fuzzy, like fuzzy carpet, I said, WhatsApp your friend. Now, we have these guests. We can WhatsApp them just about any time of the day. They're 6 hours ahead of us, so they're awake. So we got the answer back in 30 seconds to 1 minute. This is the kind of things that we do. Our trip, when I took it over in 2002, was with a school in Gänserndorf, which is a suburb of Vienna, and we would go to Vienna. My wife had studied some in Vienna, but I knew Vienna very well just from visiting there. We go from Vienna for a week, and our students stay with host families and go to school with these students in Gänserndorf. They're about the same age. It's a gymnasium, so it's a higher level high school. And we go there and we kind of integrate in the school. And they do the same when they come here to Baldwin. And while they're staying there, they eat with the family. They actually become part of the family. No one's considered an outsider. It's just part of the family. And for that week, they're totally integrated. The families are checked out. It just so happens that the educator friends that I made beforehand have moved either to that school or near that school, and have moved to a second school that we picked up 3 years ago. And now we have a second school, and they're mainly run by people I've known for 20 years. So it's a locked down, this beautiful situation that we have, that we can ask each other questions at any time of the day or night. It's beautiful. So from Vienna, we go to Salzburg, where I used to live. I showed them around Salzburg, and then we go to a town called Spittal. So they go from staying with a family in Vienna in a big city down to a small town. Spittal is in the mountains of Kärnten in Carinthia in the south near Italy. So from there, we get to see Italy, of course. Then we go up to Munich, where we see many of our the famous castles. We go to Dachau and pay our respects. And then we're back home. But the relationships don't end there. I still visit my friends, and I talk to my friends almost weekly. And my kids, my students, are either visiting there, studying there, living there and working there. It's a flourishing program, and I'm very proud of it. So part of the connectivity is not just through the internet or being able to email and talking to each other, but it's having that friend, having that person over there to make it real, to make what we're doing significant in their lives. And I'm very proud of the students who've trusted me to go with me and have come back. We've had some students do it more than once. So I'm very, very proud of that. Well, thank you very much for coming out and talking and listening to me talk today. I hope you've enjoyed what I've had to present, and keeping it real is foremost in my mind for education. Thank you very much.